ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. In this video, let us examine what a parenthood is. You see, the trouble with a family is that the children grow out of their childhood, but parents never grow out of their parenthood. See, the children needs the love and protection when they are helpless. So it is necessary and it is a divine arrangement for the parents to give the child that love and that protection when the child is utterly helpless. But when the child is able to stand on his own, the parents should learn how to withdraw from the life of a child. So, the parents never does the same. So, it creates that love and concern and all that. It creates an constant anxiety, not only to themselves, parents, but also to the children. You see, when the child is able to stand on his own and when he is not helpless, your concern, your love, your attachment, which is more than necessary to a grown-up child, creates an anxiety, not only an anxiety, but also guilt in the children. See, the guilt the parents create in the children like this. They compare their children with other children and they try to impose their ideas of right and wrong. They try to humiliate the children with harsh words. Mind, when you use harsh words towards your children, that creates, because the children cannot express themselves. So, that kind of harsh words hurled at them in times of anger and frustration creates a kind of guilt and shame in them. So, parents should be well aware of this when talking to their children, listening to their children, and dealing with the children. So, you have to praise the children often, and for anything that is a troubleshooter trait, such kind of traits in the children should be cut at the base level itself with proper explanation and the consequences thereof. So, this should be taken care of by every parent towards his children. So, not only that, the parents try to impose their ideas on the children. You see, the parents who are frustrated in their life because of non-fulfillment of their dreams, their ambitions and their expectations, try to fulfill those ambitions and dreams through their children by imposing ideas on the children from time to time. So, in the process, every child is unique and has a unique potential hidden in their being. So, in that process of imposing your ideas, your ambitions and your dreams on the children, the very possibility of manifesting their real potential is curtailed, not by others, by their own parents. So, this kind of parenthood manifests as negative emotions in the children, and because they are not aware of those negative emotions, they live and grow only in that background of the mind attitude. So, the point here which is the real parent, the criteria for real parent, then what is that? The real criteria of a parent is like this. See, giving a birth to a child is not extraordinary, it is very ordinary, because the instinctive process the biological process and the natural process of giving a birth to a child is not extraordinary, it is very ordinary. But to become a real parent is extraordinary. See, the criteria of a real parent is the parent gives freedom to the child. He respects the ideas of the children. So the effort on the part of the parent will be to nourish and support, and not only that, to strengthen the ideas of the children with the proper guidance. Suppose, for example, a child wants to become a doctor. So the parent guides him in a proper way to enable the child to realize and fulfill his ambition or his idea of becoming a doctor. That's how at every stage the parent nourishes and guides the ambition of the child with the proper guidance, duly explaining him the consequences thereof. So in the process, the child will be able to not only realize his dream and also avoid pitfalls on the way to his ambition. So a real parent and a real parenthood is that which helps the child to grow in a healthy and positive way in life. You see, instead we see parents even in old age, they are much worried about their children because they want to fulfill their ideas and they want to fulfill their dreams and their expectations through their children. So it rarely happens and almost it never happens. So the people in old age leave the body with this worry in their being. So the child, every child is unique in his own way. He has got his own potential. So any laxity in parenthood will lead the child to the undesirable and all other ways. And not only that, the parents will suffer and end up with misery. So, a parent should learn how to withdraw from the life of a child when the child is able to stand and take decisions on his own. You must learn how to withdraw from that kind of a feeling of a possessiveness towards the child in the garb of love. So, even this kind of attitude will not only help the children to grow, it also helps the parents. You see, the world, what we see is very strange. Here, people try to pretend that they are happy, joyous and all that. So, we see people moving around in temples, churches, restaurants, holidays, all that. So, we see that they are enjoying and they are rejoicing the life, whereas you are the only person who is miserable within yourself. But the fact is that all are wearing the masks of joy, of happiness, of blissfulness, so on and so forth, and they are not real, because everybody is suffering within themselves for one cause or the other in their life. So, though the faces are covered with masks of hypocrisy, the reality is completely opposite to what they are exhibiting outwardly. So, we should, the elders or parents should guide the children in a positive way and tell them the reality of their life. When they are able to share with their children the reality, the truth, the real mask or the real face behind the mask of their life, of their pretensions, of their hypocrisy, then parents will be doing immense help to their children to shape up their lives so that the joy and bliss will be able to manifest in their lives. See, generally in the world, this word, please remember this word, if wealth is there, I will be joyful. If power is there, I will be more joyful and powerful. So this if is there behind every wish in their life. But if you replace it, the same if you use it in another way, what is that? It is like this: I am going to do this, or I am going to achieve this, etc. If joy is there in the end, if it ends up with joy and bliss, I will do this, I will read this, I will whatever it is, so etc. etc. So if you joy and bliss should be the criteria, whatever you do, whatever you aspire, whatever your ambition is, if you put this first, then your life will be a celebration, because the parents who have missed this joy, bliss and celebration should guide the children properly and positively to experience this joy and bliss. That should be the criteria for any achievement. Not only the worldly parents, but the parents of the realized and enlightened masters are also disappointed with their children. Jesus Christ, whose father was a carpenter, also got disappointed because the son was advocating the idea of the kingdom of God. The old parent was desperate that his son is not helping him in his shop as a carpenter. That's what the story goes. So even Joseph, the father of that enlightened master, also disappointed as the story goes. Now let us come to a great example of Gautama Buddha. See, Gautama Buddha was born to his father after the father performed so many rituals and offered so many prayers for a children. So in the old age he was blessed with a son, Gautama. The Gautama left the kingdom for 12 years. So after 12 years, after he got enlightenment, he has returned back to home to see his father and share his joy of enlightenment. So The father saw the son after 12 years of his exile. Buddha was standing in a beggar's robe and with a beggar's bowl in his hand. So the father, after seeing the Buddha, got angry and he was trembling and shaking out of sheer anger and frustration, and shouted at him like this: "You standing in a beggar's robe with a beggar's bowl is a disgrace. My father was an emperor. His father was too an emperor, and I am an emperor. So, by standing like this, you have brought disgrace to the heritage of our family." So, he was going on shouting in anger, in frustration. And then, when the anger and frustration cooled down after the gas of that frustration has run out, tears started flowing from his eyes because of that anger and frustration. Buddha never spoke a single word for 30 minutes and kept himself silent. So, after the father has thrown out his frustration and anger and all that, Buddha then spoke to the father like this: "Father, please do one favor to me. Please wipe out the tears from your eyes and see me. I am not that person who had left home. The person who left home has already died. The person who is standing before you is totally transformed." Then the father, hearing this, got angry again. The words of Buddha triggered the subsidized anger again. You are trying to teach me. Can I not recognize my son your blood is from the blood in my veins. So, can't I recognize my son, what you are talking? Then Buddha again replied, Father, don't misunderstand me. No doubt, this body belongs to you. But the consciousness is my reality. This body has come through you. You have not created me. You are only a passage. You are only a medium to this body. But I am not the body. I am the consciousness. My reality is consciousness. Your consciousness is different and my consciousness is different. So, the see me, I have come here with a new consciousness. Wipe out the tears from your eyes. You said, I am a beggar. You see, I am a beggar. I am not an emperor. Though I have come through you, though my body has come through you, as already told you, that my consciousness is different. So, I was a beggar in my previous lives. A beggar of what? I was a beggar of truth. All through, I was in search of truth. So, I am now have realized. I have realized who I am, and this is the way which I have realized. This is the way in which one has to travel for realization of his self. So, please wipe out the tears from your eyes and look at me. So the father then wiped out his tears and saw at Buddha. As Buddha said, he was not the old man, because the old man used to react, but he was not angry at all. There is absolute peace on his face. It is not in any way distorted. The peace is flowing on his face. So there is no reaction, and then he could see that new consciousness and that new grace which is flowing on the face of Buddha. So then he realized the truth about his son. So